James Kroll, what's going on? We'll just do this right here at the beginning, get it out of the way. I've got a Coyote one. They will probably not be online tomorrow. They'll be gone. I have Multicam Black, red thread, large clothes bags. Those will finish tomorrow morning. Those are online if you want one. I've got these 3-cell pocket slides, Multicam Black. And then a bunch of other stuff. Looks like we're doing some CQB subloads. Those are not online yet. Might be patrols. I think they're CQBs. Multicam red thread. Tool bags is what mostly is out here. That's what everybody's working on right here. Can't wait to see my interview with Andrew. Casey Kemp. I don't know what we're talking about. And I'm sure it's blown right past me, but I don't know who we're talking about, buddy. Johnny, what's up? Steven, how are you? Soldier Camping and Shooting, what's up? RBD, what's going on? Chuck Peoples, Hot Rod Outdoor, Keith Litz, what's up? Jeremy Goodman, Josh Winnie, what's up, Josh? How are you, man? Tattooed Fucker. I guess we get enough comments now that I can't see them all. It doesn't let me go all the way back. Leonard Fisher, how are you? What's going on? All right, what do you want to talk about? I don't know anything that happened today. I also don't care about anything that happened today that doesn't involve me. So you can bring it up, but I probably don't know about it. So what do you want to talk about? Roy Ayers, what's up? Olson, how are you? Fisher, what's up? What up from Damien and the good folks at Adco Farms? What's up, buddy? How is the rash? I don't know what rash we're talking about. Jesse Smollett out of jail. I don't give a shit. Don't fucking care. I don't know him. I don't want to hang out with him. It doesn't affect me. I know. I saw Tim Pool. That was the headline of his whole thing. But it doesn't affect me any. Nobody would know who he was. I had never heard of him until the Subway sandwich thing, and he got the 2 gay bodybuilders to beat him up. Did you finish those belts? Yeah, of course I finished them. I finished them on video. Where the fuck were you? I finished them and we shipped them to him with a couple pouches. Look, guys, I don't know who he is. Sure, he's a kid. Looks like he doesn't know how to put his gear on. I thought I would do something nice and send him a belt. If you guys want to send him some shit, go find somebody on your own. He doesn't need a bunch of stuff. I have no idea who the dude is. Super nice, everybody. I've got like 12 dudes like, hey, what's his address? I'll send you some stuff. I ain't fucking with it. I did it. It's done. It's over with. You guys, there's plenty of kids out on the internet where dudes are kind of saying snide, shitty stuff to them. Go find them yourself. Like, I know it makes you feel good. I know you want to do this. I'm already beyond it. I'm literally, in my world, I'm 3 days past it already. If you were to start a new business right now, what would you be starting? I'm looking for inspiration. James Ross, you can't run at my pace. So don't look to me for inspiration. And I know that sounds shitty. But if you could keep up with my pace, you'd already know what you wanted to do. Here, I'll give you one. When you're working, I literally had this conversation with a person today. She's probably, I don't know, 20, 21. When you go to work and you make money, what do you think about while you're at work? What's that thing you want to do while you're at work? What do you spend your money on? What is it you're thinking about constantly? When you're out doing fun shit, whatever your hobbies are, what are you excited to get back home and do? Take that and figure out how to monetize that. Figure out how to do that. That thing that you love to do, that thing that you spend all your extra money on, that thing that you spend money on that you should be spending on bills and instead you spend it on that thing, figure out how to make money doing that. And you won't ever fucking dread going to work. What brand of pellet do you feed your rabbits, and how long do you wait to breed your doe after she has babies? So Casey Kim, reading about rabbits, you will read 100 different things. And most of the people telling you how to raise a rabbit is because somebody else on the internet told them how to raise a rabbit. So I don't give a shit what pellets we feed them. When I was raising rats, I would use Harlan Laboratory chow, rat chow or rodent chow or even monkey chow. And the litters were bigger, and there was always more number in the litter. The number count was higher, and the animals were bigger, and my rats, like I had 1 pound rats. They were enormous. So using expensive laboratory feed is better. There are plenty of guys, to include me, I bred rats for years and just fed them the cheapest dog food we could get from Tractor Supply. And they bred and had litters, but not as big, and the animals weren't as high quality. For rabbits, I use a feed from the co-op, whatever the co-op has. I used to use the Tractor Supply, more expensive. I want to say it's like $20 a bag. I don't currently know what we're paying for rabbit feed from the co-op. I know that when we go buy feed, it's usually about $500. I spend a ton of money in feed. We let our rabbits eat as much as they want, and I usually have multiple rabbits in a cage. Oh my God, you can't, that's terrible. You can't do that. My rabbits get bred whenever the males want to breed them. To include, like, while she's nursing, she'll drop babies and can literally get pregnant a couple days later, I believe. I don't keep most of my rabbits on a schedule. Because of the hassle and the mess they make having more than 1 rabbit in a cage, some of them have 3, 4 rabbits in a cage. Now, because of the mess and because of the amount of feed we're going through, I am killing off rabbits, right? I have about 80 of them. I'm whittling it down to 20. I'm gonna have 17 females and 3 good males. And I'm picking the best of the females by how big and healthy they are. I'm going to keep the bigger ones with the thought that bigger rabbits will produce bigger, better genetic bunnies. But there's not a right or a wrong way to it. A lot of people will say don't breed them in the summer because it's too hot. I watch all the Homestead videos. I just watched one, tons of content. I respect what she says. I believe that she's correct. But they're like, we don't breed our rabbits in the summer. I breed my rabbits fucking every day. There are bunnies up there. Through the winter, through 20-degree weather, through frozen water, we got rabbits all the time. Now, we lose some in the winter when it's really cold, but it's usually a new mom. I will let a rabbit have a litter twice. A lot of people only let a rabbit have a litter 1 time, and if she doesn't take care of her litter, on the 2nd time, they kill her off. You know, make your choice. Make your choice. A lot of people like to raise animals. They don't like to kill animals. But it's to the point where we are feeding. I'm spending $500 every month on feed. So, and that's not just rabbit feed. That's with scratch and other stuff for chickens. I bet I'm actually over $500 a month. But we have big rabbits that I don't need, so I can kill them, put them straight in the freezer with the hair on, and we can pull them out a day, 2 days ahead of time and just feed them right to the dogs. My dogs will eat rabbit, fucking skin on, bone on, everything. They will take that rabbit, they will throw it on the ground, they'll toss it up in the air, they'll roll all around on it to get their scent all over it, and then they'll leave it outside to rot for a day or 2, and then they'll go find it and eat it. Or will you be tanning or have someone else tan their hides by a second party? Oh, Johnny, are you asking me about rabbits? I'm not tanning rabbit fur, man. I feed it straight to the dogs. I don't even gut the rabbits. We don't skin the rabbits. We feed them straight to the dogs. Now, if I'm going to use them, I don't bother with the hides. I've never tanned anything. It's probably something we should probably know and will be useful in the future. but I don't keep the hides. Shipping confirmation, Caswell, right on. Did you ever get a chance to send the rabbits to Kentucky? No, I never heard anything more about that. That never did come to fruition. I actually kept and fed rabbits for several more months so that I had them, and I've just kind of let it go. Did you say the other night the Berkey filter glue doesn't hold up? No, Chef, I was talking about years and years ago. I had several sets where the glue did not hold up. And when we spoke to them, they were aware that they had a batch of filters, but they would not warranty our filters out. They just said basically too bad, too sad. And I'm like, well, these are brand new. I realize you don't know who I am, but I can send you photos of 4 fucking Berkey filters brand new in the box, and I can send you photos of the boxes and the filters we just opened up, and 2 of them are bad, and the 3rd one was bad, and the 4th one was bad. And they're like, well, you waited too long. Well, how the fuck would I know if I bought your product and we set it in case of emergency, and only because we went to get filters out of one did we ever know there was a bad one, and then when we opened them up, they were all bad. And that was through Directive 21. That's who I spoke to, Directive 21. I know a lot of guys like them, but that's where that happened. I have all the email exchange probably still in my Outlook. That happened at least 10 years ago. Did you get the trees planted? No, I don't have the trees planted. My auger was broken. It is at Kubota. We're going to send, Cody's going to go over this week and pick that up. And then we'll just use the auger to drill holes in the ground to put the trees in. All my fodder trees came today too, but we have to do some dirt work. I have to bring in a mini excavator and cut some swales. Basically, we're just going to cut some trenches that are 12 inches wide, 4 inches deep, and the dirt will pile up on one side, and then we will plant in that mound on the high side of the swale. And there's 375 trees here, and those are just twigs. They're like 12 inches long. When I was a kid, we always had trouble with the female fighting the males if we brought the male to the female cage. That's still the case. We did keep rabbits in the same cage, but always the same sex. So if they're in there together, we don't ever have a problem. In the wild, females will actually castrate males. Females will chew the testicles off of young males to keep them from breeding. And there's some other things like that. These rabbits have always been in cages together. We never had a problem with it. Japan just got hit by a major earthquake. Another Fukushima. Custom Fab, send me a message and I'll add you to that group. Do you ever do any grafting with your fruit trees? I never have, Backwood Packer. I have some wild grapevines growing very well. And I had told Nick Ferguson, hey, I'm going to cut these down. And he said, oh, don't do that, man. The root stock is already in there well. He said, just cut off most of the vine and then graft in what you want it to produce. So I actually have some grapes here, some Concord grapes and a couple other kind, and I am going to graft those in and see what we can do with them. Would you like to use my auger going to get feed tomorrow? Oh, no, I have an auger, John. Thank you, though. Totally, thank you. We have an auger for my skid steer. And it's been back. They fixed it. It's literally sitting in Paris. We just have to throw it on the flatbed and bring it over. Just got home, glad I'm still alive. I go live every night around 9 o'clock, man. I was actually a few minutes late tonight. EDC, what's up, buddy? How are you, Richard? I'm reading back through these comments as far as I can go here. Thanks for the heads up on toxic tool bad. Those shipped today, right? I think those are all out of here. If you were to start a new, so James Ross, back to your comment about the business. Like, what do you love to do? What do you like to do? What do you work in order to be able to do? What's the thing that you love to do? Any more podcasts with Scully? Probably not, man. Probably not. I told Scully, name your price, come in 1 day a week, we'll record 3 podcasts. His reply was, I don't do podcasts. I think that his woman, I think that I say things that she does not agree with, and I feel like Jeff would go home and catch shit from me over podcasts that we did. I kind of feel like that's the case sometimes. But Jeff's doing what he wants to do. Jeff didn't ever want to work here. Jeff worked here for the money, and Jeff did 20 in the Marine Corps, and his woman constantly was like, felt like he should not be working, he should be at home because he already did his 20 in the Marine Corps. And like she would post things, I'd be like, Jeff, hey, it's Veterans Day, do you want to shut the shop down? He's like, fuck no, we have stuff to do, we need to work. And then his woman would be posting stuff like, what kind of piece of shit boss would make veterans work on Veterans Day? It was like every holiday, it was something like that. So Jeff is doing, I guarantee Jeff's doing whatever Jeff wants to do, and it's not part of this. Panda, did you grow those veins? I don't know what we're talking about. Perma Pastures was great addition to the weekly live stream. I like that dude. I like that dude. I've got a ton of comments, people saying how good that live video was. Do you like Mountain House for long-term freeze-dried? It's expensive, but what options do you have? Like, you're really late in the game. Like, what can you even get right now? Can you even get Mountain House? And how much are you really going to store of Mountain House? You can put it away. They say 30 years. You can also, for $5,000, you can buy a freeze dryer and start freeze drying chicken breast until you've gone fucking mad and you're tired of seeing chicken breast. That's what we do. Every week we freeze dry hamburger and chicken breast, and we cook it and season it first, and we put it in Mylar bags, simply because I haven't bought a number 10 canner. You can buy a number 10 canner, but I feel like if we need to use freeze-dried food, you're not going to want to use fuel. You're going to really want to hold on to all the fuel you have if the time comes where you're using freeze-dried food. So, yeah, Mountain House is okay. Go buy some bags. Go to a backpacking store, even go to Walmart, whatever. Buy some, try it out, and see if you think you can live off of that shit for 6 months. Of course you can. You can doctor up anything. But the way I see using freeze-dried food, if you're buying that stuff, buy you some MREs. Get on Craigslist, get on Marketplace, find some surplus stores near you, and just start buying cases of MREs. But you can use Mountain House, like even the freeze-dried chicken. The way I see using it is you're going to take some ramen noodles and you're going to make a soup, and you're going to hopefully walk outside or to your window garden or your kitchen garden, and you're going to pull off a bunch of greens. You're going to pull out some basil, and you're going to pull out some spinach, and you're going to pull out some watercress, and you're going to pull out some rainbow chard, and you're going to put that in that soup until it wilts down. And you're going to put that chicken breast right before you even start making the soup. You're going to take that chicken breast and start soaking it in water. And everything you're going to eat when that time comes, you're not going to put a piece of meat on the plate with some fresh vegetables, most likely. Because you're going to use every drop of every piece of juice and sauce and every packet that you can possibly put in your body. Because when the time comes to use food like that, you're not doing a desk job. You're going to expend calories simply keeping yourself alive. You're going to have an agrarian society. It's going to be a farming, agriculture-based society. And you're going to have people, you're going to have rotations, you and your children and hopefully other families that you've merged with, literally security around your property. You're going to have roving patrols. You're going to have LPOP sites. It's not going to be a world where you just farm some shit and walk outside. There will literally be things that will eat you and kill you, and most of them will be human beings. So most people in the United States eat a 3,000 calorie I mean, you go to McDonald's and order a burger and a couple things. You go to any of these chain restaurants and you order a meal, it's 1,000 calories. But most people don't burn those calories, so they've never operated in a caloric deficit. So when the time comes to eat that food, you've been shoveling all day. You've been wearing a rake and a hoe all fucking day. You've been out getting beat down in the sun. So every single thing that you scrape off of a plate that's not left goes into a bowl, and that goes into the next meal. Everything. We have to learn from the Amish on how they live. That'd be a good start. Has there ever been a cup of noodle? Has there ever been a cup of noodles? I only keep about 30 days worth of food in my freezer, dried food, and about 6 months worth of long-term food, dry canned goods. Could stretch to a year with rationing, I think. Well, Tyler, man. Tyler, like, are we, if we're concerned about it and we're having the conversation right now, what can you take away from right now and put that money into food right now? You can go to the grocery store and get a lot of shelf-stable stuff. You could go to Costco or Sam's Club and get a lot more for the same amount. You can go to restaurant supply places as well, like rice, pasta, and you can take that and you can put it right in 5-gallon buckets. You can put it in a Mylar bag, seal it up, and put it in a 5-gallon bucket. The bucket is to keep rodents out of the Mylar bags. That's what it's for. And you can take those buckets very conveniently, just like over here, and you can just stack them up on top of each other. MREs stack much in the same manner. They stack up in nice, hard, waxed cardboard boxes. Keep them away from the outside wall, right? So that it's not on the radiating wall where it gets heat. Keep them in the most cool, stable temperature place you can in your home. And when you need them, they'll be there. I ate MREs in this building. We've only been in this building 6 years. I ate MREs in this building on video from the Gulf War, from literally 1990. I didn't get sick from any of that shit. You'll know it if you shouldn't eat it. It'll smell like a fucking dirty diaper. Working on a project today and used a handsaw cutting some 1x4s just to get a little practice in. Been a while. Byron, it's an ass kicker. Like, you feel that. Backpacking store mountain house will be better than Walmart mountain house. You are absolutely correct. Walmart, people have the perception that because it's in Walmart, they just assume it's the same product, and that's not the case. They will have only a few entrees in Walmart, and Walmart negotiates a price 3 years to 5 years out. So when you're like, we've made it, we've got a part number in Walmart. Walmart wants a price advantage on 5 years worth of volume. So they beat the store, they beat the company down, and typically Walmart, for instance, Mountain House, will change their menu. It'll be a smaller portion, weight-wise, and the ingredients will be different also. So be aware of that. Load it up, prep some corned beef for the freezer. Good for you. Hey, Don, what's up, buddy? MRE is great. Yeah, I hear a lot of people talk a lot of shit about MREs. I don't mind MREs. I don't mind them. Ask big restaurants if they have buckets, a lot will give you. Brad, a lot of people say that, and that's true. That's absolutely true. Frosting from bakeries, lard from bakeries, you know, like Crisco and shit. Buckets aren't expensive, guys. Tractor Supply has buckets. Walmart has buckets. Home Depot has buckets. Lowe's has buckets. You're going to be right about $5 a bucket with a lid. $5, guys. That's what we're talking about. $5. Turn off your fucking Netflix. Cancel your cable bill. Most people can have more. They can have more money by canceling bullshit than they can than easily working and making more money. You'd be amazed how much money you could save if you just turned off fucking subscription services. I think we pay probably $250 a month for internet cable, not internet cable, but satellite TV. Literally the only show we've watched in the last 3 years has been Yellowstone. $250 a month. We don't have it. We bought it originally for Game of Thrones, and then our cable provider, our service, no longer got HBO, and we've paid that $200. I don't know how much it really is. I think it's $250. I have the Hopper, whatever that thing is, Dish Network, and I have it on 3 TVs. I literally took the TV in my office off the wall a couple weeks ago. I'd only turned that television in my office. It had only been on one time. And then we have it on 3 TVs. We have 3 Hoppers. And I want to say it's $250 a month. And we've had that motherfucker. We bought that subscription the first thing I brought in this building was an 85-inch television. It's hanging on the wall upstairs. There's 3 TVs upstairs. $250 a month for the last 6 years. Somebody math that out. How much money would we have saved for a television we don't even watch? That TV hasn't been on. I'll bet you those TVs haven't been watched 12 times. $18.83. But didn't that go to a paid service? Like I couldn't see it. It wasn't on. Iridium Group, what's up, buddy? All I have is Hulu, commercial free, $12 a month, smoking 3 years ago. Stop. Good for you, man. Good for you. Turned off our satellite TV, never missed it. Cannot eat an MRE more than 3 days. That's all right. That's all right. That means you've eaten a bunch, so you know what you're in for. Target brand kitty litter comes in bags, yeah, and a lot of kitty litter comes in boxes or in the plastic buckets, the square ones. I've seen a lot of the conversation come up in the last few days about Mountain House food. Why is that? I'm not opposed. I own a ton of Mountain House. I bought Mountain House in number 10 cans. I have hundreds and hundreds of packages of Mountain House food. I also have hundreds of cans, number 10 cans of Mountain House, and for guys that don't know, those come in a box conveniently, and there's 6 cans per case, and they stack up, and you can stack them right up to the ceiling. And when you wedge them into the ceiling, they fit almost perfectly depending on the spec that your rooms or house were built to. And you could literally fill an entire room with that shit. I'm not opposed to it. It's very expensive right now if you can even get it. So if you're just starting out on Parodic Plus, I don't even know what that is, John. Did you move the Mountain House from California? Dawn, no. We did bring some Mountain House from California. Most Mountain House I bought here. There's Emergency Essentials. Emergency Essentials has a program where if you're like a group, if you have a group or you're a group by director or something, it's usually on the back page of their catalogs they send out, their pamphlets. Come to think of it, I haven't seen anything from them in a couple years. But they always have these group buys. So if you buy like 3 cases, you get a discount on them or whatever. And I just bought that. I would, whenever the thought hit me, I would just order some cases, and they stacked up. What size Right in the Rain fit in your EDC organizer? Jonathan, I want to say the 5x7, and you can also put the 3x5s in there. But if you go to the website, I'm pretty sure it says it on there. Use them mostly for knives. Some are for external hard drives. Phones I use only for music. I also use them for cat. What are we talking about, EDC? Quit getting coffee and going out. Amazed how much you save. So Sam, I was spending $1,200 a month on Starbucks. Now that's me and 3 kids. But we would go to Starbucks 5 times a day. And you don't realize that triple white mocha with half of the syrup, it's still 750 calories. Like, you see all the girls there after the gym, they're literally buying a fucking milkshake. The Frappuccino, it's 1,200 calories. 1,200 calories of fucking sugar. CQB pound cake, right on. The Depression cooking channel is very cool. There's some old-time, like Revolutionary Wartime cooking channels. And then Forward Observer, I believe it's Forward Observer. No, it's S2 Underground, has done some awesome cooking videos also. I dropped my sweet cream cold brews since going on keto. I'm down 10 pounds. Great, man. Any alternative besides MRE? I'm sure there is. I just say MRE because they're accessible to everybody. Everybody can get them. And as far as the dude that's like, I can't eat an MRE, you get hungry enough, you're going to fucking eat whatever you get. And the MREs are very convenient to store. They're heavy. You're not going to want to move them. How do you see draft going? Most of today's boys and girls wouldn't make it in the military, or so one assumes. I don't know. Are they even talking about it? They're doing compulsory military service in Germany already. I guess the question is, would you let your kids go if they were drafted, or would you fucking hide your kids? Do they have a gyro MRE? Pierre, no, I got a guy. They have Gordon Food Services over there by Costco in I think they call it Brentwood, but it's like Franklin over there, you know, by Cars and Coffee. They have gyro kits there. I saw them yesterday, day before. I saw them, and you can buy a bunch of those, and we can just freeze dry them. Aquaponics videos. So Jeremy, stop fucking watching aquaponics videos and do some fucking aquaponics. Go get your 5-gallon bucket and a lid and draw a circle the size of your net pot, about a 1/4 inch smaller than your net pot, or a hole saw, whatever, and put some nutrients and some water in there and drop your plant in there. And the plant will drink all the water and it will aspirate through the leaves. And as the water level with the nutrients goes down, those roots will chase that water down and all those hair fibers. And it's the hair fibers that actually absorb the oxygen. And by the time that plant has ran its course and is ready to die, you will almost be out of fluid. So that's a very, it's called Kratky aquaponics, very, very simple. And depending on the plant you're growing, like if you're going to do a cabbage or a head of lettuce on that bucket, you can only do one. But if you're doing something vining that's going to come over the sides, you could put 2 or 3 in there. 4. 12 years or more to store MREs. I'm telling you, I ate MREs here in this building. There's videos of it on the YouTube channel somewhere that were from the Gulf War. The first Gulf War. The brown wrap, 1990. I was still in high school then. Well, no, I wasn't. I was supposed to still be in high school then. I actually dropped out of high school 2 years before that. Matt Christopher, what's up, buddy? S2 Underground has been dark for almost 2 weeks. Huh. Forward Observer, are you familiar with that YouTube channel? Those dudes are coming out here for our event in June. Forward Observer's coming out. Looking forward to meeting those guys in person. And the diet soda thing, guys. I think diet soda is worse for you than real soda. The diet soda converts in a lot of people's bodies. It deposits fat into certain places. It does horrible things inside your body. The diet soda is literally worse for you, and it will still spike insulin levels. Like, watch your glucose, read your shit on your diet soda stuff. Look into it. Talk to doctors about diet. Ask Sherman House about diet. Sherman House has a 45-minute presentation on diet soda. When hunger sets in, even that MRE bread will taste fresh. You put enough fucking sugar, jelly, honey on anything, you'd eat dog shit if you were hungry enough, if it had the right stuff on it. Yeah, drop the soda, Sam. That's the biggest thing with me, right? I've quit drinking altogether, and I think that I was using a sugar-free soda. I don't use a margarita mix. I use a lemon lime sugar-free soda, and that's what I add tequila to, with a ton of fucking salt. But I don't believe it's the alcohol, and it's probably a combination of both. But me holding body fat, that's it. That's what it is right there. I've cut that out. It's been 3 weeks now. I see a huge difference in the mirror. Huge difference. If you eat it fast enough, you won't even taste it. If it comes to the point they're cracking those open and eating them, they're not going to fucking care what it tastes like. They are literally going to eat because it is their turn to go to sleep. If it comes to the point you're using that shit, you're going to be fucking using muscles you've never used, and you're going to be standing guard, and you're going to be roving patrol, and you're going to get less sleep than you've ever had in your life. And you're going to be so happy that you just don't have to work for a few minutes and you get to eat, and you're going to go to sleep for a few hours until it's your turn to get up and go back out in the dark and make sure the wolves don't come to the door. Aspartame. Yes, aspartame is worse than fucking sugar. There's a ton of shit in there, guys. It just doesn't say sugar. It's just spelled differently. It's a different word. And you know they're allowed to say it's sugar-free. Marines are sending a bunch of troops to Australia because there is intel about a conflict possibly happening in China. Canned foods usually store pretty well. When stored, same environment, you typically keep MREs. Yeah, anything, the cooler you can keep it, just keep it away from sun. If you're storing it and you have no choice but to store it on an outside wall, store it on the wall that's inside. You want it more stable temperature. You don't want it heating up. Going home series really pushes. You'll be crying to get back to your job. Yeah. I keep MREs in the truck and eat one from time to time while hunting, fishing, not any worse than McDonald's. No. You could keep McDonald's in your truck for fucking 60 days too. You can put McDonald's outside and animals won't even eat McDonald's. I found I craved the carbonation in soda more than the sugar. Carbonated water was the trick. How about tonic water with quinine in it? How about that? I don't know the answer. Is there sugar in that? What's the event in June? We do a Self-Reliance Festival. This will be the third one. We just did one a few weeks ago here. We had about 250 people registered, showed up, and we're expecting 650 on this next event in June. It's June 11th and 12th, and Billy Bond will be here doing a pig processing class that Friday, and then we will cook that pig here. That pig will get gobbled up. Am I doing low-carb keto? No, I'm just doing what seems right. I'm not really following any diet. I eat a lot at lunch. I'm still consuming carbs. I had polenta today with Mississippi pot roast and a fucking just an awesome thin gravy, more like the juice over the top, with roasted Brussels sprouts and covered in bacon and balsamic vinegar. Amazing lunch. Had a 90-minute massage tonight, came downstairs, ate that same meal over again, sewed for a little while, worked out, busted out some chest. I'm standing here thinking I am hungry again. I will probably, when I'm done here, I will probably take a fistful of oatmeal and do it for 45 seconds in the microwave with water. I do not put anything on that oatmeal other than water. And then I'll fry up 3 eggs in bacon grease, and that'll be my last meal. I also find that when I eat before going to bed, when I eat a clean meal, I actually lose more weight. I look better in the morning in the mirror by eating more. But it has to be, and that's what it has to be. It has to be eating clean. I still go out, like we'll go out on the weekends to restaurants, and I'll go to certain restaurants based on what dessert they have. But we eat sushi a lot, and I never get dessert when we're at sushi. I watch Dr. Exberg on YouTube. He has lots of information on how to heal your body with foods. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for the motivation. I'm taking my inheritance and buying a house to flip in order to make more bank for my family. I'm hoping to make $70,000 on my first flip. Paul, that's awesome. That's awesome. Are you living in it? You can get a different tax break if you live in it. I think on the first one, I do not know. There's plenty of YouTube channels that can tell you. Talk to a tax person, especially if you're going to keep flipping these things. Do it as a business. There will be a lot of advantages to that rather than just an individual. I was watching the first part of the video that was in the plastic tub. What was in the plastic tub on the table, larger than the pocket size? iPad cases. We did some Coyote Patrol subloads today. I've got some iPad cases. Fit the iPad with the OtterBox, the big iPad. And I have some multicam black, red thread, large tool bags. And those are online. There's a stink bug over here, and it's driving the cat nuts. And I don't know where it is, but he has been, there it is, I see it. It's by those cords down there. So, multicam black, red thread tool bags, these will finish in the morning. These are online. If you remotely even think you want one of these things, you better buy it tonight. You won't get one tomorrow. Coyote Patrol subloads, those are online. All this little shit I think is online. There's like some bag sleeves and some string backpacks and 3-cell pocket slides, iPad sleeves, zippered knife pouches. There's some subloads going. These are maybe Patrol subloads. I don't know what these are. Patrol or CQB subloads. Those are not online yet. They'll be available soon-ish. Multicam black, red thread, large clothes bags. So these will be multicam Patrol subloads. And it doesn't look like you can get one of these. I don't know that there's any extras. Looks like they're just for orders. So those won't be available. But that's what we have today. That's what's available tonight. There still might, maybe some sizes. Give me liberty, or I'll get it myself. I'll take it myself. This shirt went live last night. I know most of the sizes sold out while we were on live feed. Any idea when we'll do day packs? I do not have any idea. Do you have one on order? What color do you have on order? Do you think one can be truly independent, or should people aim more for interdependency like a mag? Tread, man. There's always somebody bigger and badder. There's always somebody with more skill. And there's always somebody more desperate than you that is willing to kill you to take what you have. And it could even be, I'm not going to let my kids starve, so I will take from you and your kids, right? So no matter how much we prepare, are you in a position where you can defend it, and who are you defending it from? You can't defend anything from fire. So if they burn you out, if they flood you out, just, those are just things to think about. If you have a group of people, you have people problems, but you also can come together for a common interest to fight off the wolves. I got shipping today for 2 new shirts I ordered. I had to wait a while, 12 hours, to receive shipping notification. What? I don't know what that means, Chuck. You had to wait. I don't know what that means. Why? Should have got multicam black day pack last week. Damn. No, I don't have a day pack. Gotcha. Love my multicam black red thread large tool bag. I've done whole food plant-based for 2 years. In the past, that's when I felt the best, but that's me, everyone. So you did whole food plant-based. So vegetarian, no meat, is that what you're saying? I had a chocolate cupcake today with salt on top. It was a very John dessert. John's desserts include fire, Pierre. I don't know how the fuck I didn't have any video of you while we were doing that Banana Foster. I haven't published that video, but I watched that video the other day. It's all put together. But you're not in it somehow. I don't know how that happened. You can hear you. You're sitting right next to me, and you can see them light the fire, and the Banana Foster, you know, it fucking flames up. It's awesome. But somehow you aren't in the video. I don't know how that happened. 12-hour turnaround. Oh, gotcha. Thoughts on James going to Ukraine? John Paul Jones. If you're asking me about James going to the Ukraine, you probably watch Warrior Poet's video or you watch James. I have a video. It's in my phone. I will post it as I'm done. I forgot to post it. I got sidetracked with something else. Do you know who James is? Like, do you watch James's stuff? You ever train with James? Do you think James is fucking lying to you? Like, do you not believe that James believes what he says? What do you think? Of course James is going to Ukraine. James did a video with John Lovell. Fucking spells it all out. There's nothing to say. But I promise you, James is doing what James wants to do. James is doing what James feels is best. And I expect James to come home. I don't expect James to go over there and die in the Ukraine. I don't expect that. But if that happens, at least it was on James's fucking terms. Yes, no meat. We didn't cut out butt nuggets. We had eggs, gotcha. Really like the new shirt. Yeah, we've been fucking killing it on some shirts. Our shirt, Jason and Nicole, have been doing fucking really good on some shirts. That's about it. Sushi's great food. I drive multiple hours to go. Pierre, did you get my message about hop sticks? It's a sushi. We go to Chambly, which has a bunch of antique stores in Atlanta. Chambly is just a cool town, and there's a restaurant there. It's got a cool bar in it, and it's kind of like brisket. It's smokehouse kind of stuff. It's a cool place. You'll like it. Right around the corner from there is a place called Hop Sticks, and it's a sushi fusion place. Amazing. Like, we ate lunch there and ate dinner there the same day. And the only reason I thought about that, Pierre, when you asked me, is because literally 2 days before that, I asked Amanda, I go, what's that place we went to? And our phone, your tattletale, knows everywhere I went on Google Maps. So she looked it up, and it's Hop Sticks. I was looking to see if we had one in Nashville here, and we do not. It seems to be a one location deal. It's not a franchise or corporate or anything. That place was awesome. That place was really good. They have pork belly there. It's a lot like Virago, but the atmosphere, it's brighter in there. I just tried pho for the first time and can't say I was impressed. I think I need a different place. There's usually a lot of different stuff to it, right? You can put different things in it. I trained with James a couple of years ago. It's not that I don't believe him. It's just a little worrying that he's in the boat, but hey, he will do what he wants. What would you rather him do? Sit here and do nothing? Thoughts on James? He is doing what he's called to. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you guys are truly worried about James, right, you're concerned for his well-being, you're concerned for his family, go to his website right now and order something that he has for sale. Do some business with him, because no matter what happens, money helps everybody. Money makes everything easier. So if we're having the conversation and you're here asking me, go do some business with James. Like, put some money into that bank account. You don't have to donate money. Buy something from him. Surely he has something for sale that you guys can all use. Another one of those small engine planes flying overhead right now. With not cutting out eggs, we didn't have to supplement as much B12. Trained with James a couple of years ago. It's not that I don't, okay, we read all these. Get over there, give it an AK with 10 rounds. Pure evil. I know guys, I don't know what's out there publicly, okay? James is not going to get over there and be given an AK. There are people there. There are a lot of people there. There are people there working right now that are not on the news. There's a lot of dudes know a lot of people, and there are a lot of agencies and a lot of fucking equipment there. There always has been. They'll be okay. I have a feeling he would say training is what you need. James doesn't need to justify what he's doing. I think everyone needs to let him do what he wants. Steel and brass, everybody wants to have an opinion, and they feel bad for themselves. They don't feel bad for James. They feel bad because they didn't train, or they didn't take the opportunity, or because you have a man in the situation that he is in health-wise. And literally he said, I am going to die. This is going to eventually kill me. And even with that over his head, he is willing to go to war. He is willing to get on a plane and go to a fucking war zone. And most of the people asking the question won't do it themselves, and they don't have any of those things over their head. It's the same shit where dudes are like, felon this, felon that, felon this, you're a felon. Dude on the video last night's like, you have an AR-15 on that shirt and you can't even own one. Okay, how come I make more money on t-shirts every month than that dude makes in an entire year? If I have the felon thing over my head and that's some deterrent for me to be successful, why hasn't he, instead of acting his inactions, I make more money on a fucking t-shirt every month than that dude makes in an entire fucking year. You say that like it's supposed to be a bad thing. And that's the thing with people in James. James shouldn't be going over there. Why? You're not going. What if you, everybody wants that movie montage where they gear up and they train up and they're getting ready to go, right? Everybody wants that Karate Kid moment. But none of them, given the chance, they don't do it. They don't do it. Not trolling. What are your thoughts on how incarcerated people are treated? I think it's crazy how society just accepts the fact that people will be abused. So I didn't see any abuse while I was in federal prison. I didn't see abuse. I believe that the prison system is nothing more than slave labor. A lot of people don't realize so let's say they pay people 43 cents a day in prison and they make road signs, or they make lockers, or they make pencils, or they make office equipment or office supplies. Every federal agency has to buy out of that system, out of that GSA system. And the GSA system has to sell materials and cabinets and lockers made by federal prison system. So they buy them at an elevated price, and then they sell them at a reduced price. If you went out on the open market, you could actually buy them cheaper. Where does all the money go? Who makes all the money? because they're paying the slaves 43 cents a day. And that's a high-paying job in federal prison. It is all by design. It's because the judges that put people in jail and the federal sentencing guideline has mandatory minimums. The judge can recommend minimum or maximum. Mine was 30 to 36 months. The least amount of time he could give me was 30 months, which he gave me. He actually, judge ordered me to boot camp, which means I would have been in the federal at Lompoc in the boot camp side, and I would have only been there for 6 months, and then I would have been back home. But when I got there, they said I had violence in my folder, so I was precluded to go into boot camp. And I said I didn't have any violence, and she said, you had guns, and guns is violence. I said the crime was possession of firearm. There was no crime committed with the firearm. And she literally looked right at me. She goes, you can fight this all you want, but by the time it goes to court, you'll already be out of here. So I did 22 months in federal prison. It is by design. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, all their fucking crime bill bullshit, it was to put people in prison. They are bought off. They are bought and paid for, and they get paid by lobby groups for the contracts. It's the same shit like this $85 billion, right? $85 billion went to Kentucky when the tornadoes happened. 50 billion of that went right back to DC for bribes and to pay off. 50 billion. 10 billion went to some fucking project where they're going to build a stadium or some bullshit. The people who lost their houses, FEMA came through and offered them $4,000 for their house and property and condemned the houses. FEMA's not even allowed to condemn houses. It has to be local housing. It has to be local governing body that condemns houses, but FEMA was going door to door and condemning houses. Because they eminent domain all those properties and they become city property. I remember that my locker in Iraq had a tag that said something to the effect that it was built in some way. Yes, Prism Industries is the prisons. Or if you're Democrat like Jussie Smollett, they just let you out. If he was a Republican, should be sitting on January duty. Austin Davis hearing similar stories across the country. Monkey Works is also discussing the same. Sounds like he's jealous because you bettered yourself and followed your dream. Chris, people have a perception. You could see it that way. The other way to look at it is that I made more money every month in federal prison than that dude ever made while I was in prison. Federal prison didn't stop anything. It was an inconvenience. I've never not made money. I've never not followed my dreams. I've never not wanted to do almost everything I wanted to fucking do. The prison was just another story. A lot of you guys know me because of the prison story. But all the dudes that come along that you've never seen comment, those are new accounts. It's usually the same handful of dudes making new accounts, and they come in and they're like felon this or prison that. I put that story out there. They are regurgitating something that I already said myself. Possible at the same time VP Harris was Attorney General in California, she was smoking pot while keeping pot growers in the wildfire. Yes. She was a prostitute. Like you're just saying that. No, she was a call girl. Like she was a call girl. Like people paid her to have sex. Have you ever thought about trying to have your Second Amendment? No, I've never fucking thought of that, man. I'll look into that. Thanks for bringing that up. let me tell you something. If I had my Second Amendment rights back, I wouldn't tell any of you. You wouldn't know it. Do you think with the fucking business I do, the people I do business with, and the revenue we've brought in, that I couldn't possibly have my rights back? It is to my advantage when those dudes show up and say that shit. If you're out of prison, those rights should be reinstated. Sam, I don't disagree with you, buddy. I do not disagree, and not because of my past situation. And in certain states, like Texas, Texas says that a person home on parole, probation, or house arrest still has the right to defend himself with a firearm. And there are 7 pieces of case law where homeowner has killed bad guy with a firearm, and the state of Texas said justifiable defense, homicide justifiable. But a couple of years later, the feds come in and say, we override state law. You used a firearm in a commission of a crime while on probation, and arrested them. 7 cases where that's happened. There's hundreds where dudes have been smoked justifiably and they never prosecuted the dude. But there's 7 pieces of case evidence where the feds picked it up. Who needs second? That's what I like to tell guys. Like, you can't even have a gun. Nope, but I fucking can buy a helicopter and an island. Which of those 2 do you have? Shannon Burnett, what's up? Do you see turnaround in the U.S. or will jackboots keep pushing? Tread. I would have thought that people would have already stood up. Do you ever read Enemies, Foreign and Domestic? Do you know how that book begins? I would think that you could only wrong righteous men so many times until one of them is willing to give his life to take your life. And I'm really surprised, and I'm not even convinced that there hasn't, I would think assassinations. I mean, you hear them whisper of that. How do you know that these people are even still alive, some of them, other than what they show you on television? I think that the world is very different from how most people perceive it to be. Everybody that has this conversation always ends it with violence is not the answer. Do you really believe that? You got all these fucking grumpy old men who are highly trained and highly skilled, and they just want to be left alone. And they live in the middle of nowhere, and they grow gardens, and they have a few animals, and they produce some of their food. Meanwhile, all the rights get whittled away, and they do it through generations, and they take away more rights and take away more rights and take away more rights. And the kids, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when they go to take their rights away, they're not even going to know what freedom was. And all of us guys that knew what freedom was, to some extent, we're going to be gone. And those kids, they're not going to do anything about it. But the elites, they're going to keep doing whatever they want. The definition of elite is somebody who will never be prosecuted for crimes that you are prosecuted for. They literally pass laws to make it so that it's not illegal for them to do insider trading. Yet they send Martha Stewart to prison for insider trading. They certainly use violence against you. Remember when Janet Reno put the fence up around Waco and said, we'll wait them out. They'll have to come out sooner or later. And then 6 days later, they burnt them all to death. Do you remember that? They always do it in a big, grandiose way. That's to put fear into the rest of you guys. won't ever go back. It won't ever go any steps backwards until there's bloodshed for it. Martha Stewart goes to jail, but Pelosi makes $30 million for doing the exact same thing. No, it shouldn't be illegal for us to do it. How would we ever be able to be involved in the stock market? That's what Nancy Pelosi said. I think you're going to start seeing the IRS show up like the ATF. The IRS bought a fucking ton of ammunition, hired more people, bought a lot of fucking guns and equipment. They're going to show up, the IRS is going to show up and roust up a bunch of people and make a big fucking public display of it to scare the rest of you into paying your taxes more. InfoWars? Very rarely, Matt. Very rarely do I listen to InfoWars. They shot an unarmed woman in the face while doing laundry, Ruby Ridge. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I met him and his daughter several times. The U.S. Postal Service had tons of ammo and guns and APCs, including cruiser weapons. Of course they do. What are you using for alternative heating in case of blackout? Propane, kerosene, natural gas typically still runs during blackout. Natural gas, and firewood. The woman of the year, yeah. Okay, guys. We have to stop calling those women if they're pretending to be women. If they get a sex change, whatever. But if there's a penis there, that's not a woman. You can try to convert that and build yourself into a woman, but you still can't have a baby. That's not a woman. And that clearly is not a woman. That is the laughing fucking stock. Just like the swimmer. The swimmer, there's not a vagina there. It still has its balls and it still makes testosterone. It hasn't even been castrated. That is a man. And that man ranked like 246 when he was a swimmer. I believe that was the number. And now all of a sudden he's number one. To be the best at anything in his life, he had to cheat against women. Do I listen to Media Monarchy? No, I've never heard of them. I really don't listen to a lot, guys. I've been trying to be on more of a media blackout. I've been listening to a lot of music, mostly music that friends have made, people that I know have made. Because it sidetracks me and distracts me and takes up my headspace. I have things to do and accomplish. And I get a lot more done when I don't have the outside distractions. I wonder how Vlad sleeps at night knowing we have admirals like that over here. Have you listened to The Brave? I don't know who The Brave is. Are you talking about Tom McDonald and Adam Calhoun? Do you have generators for your buildings or are you using portable heaters? Primary fallback is generator to run gas. I have generators. But if it came to the point to run central heat and air, we wouldn't run that. It would take too much fuel. We'll just heat with kerosene if we need to. Jason Vieira, what's up? Yeah, empty. I've heard all of it. Yeah, I've heard every bit of it. All right, guys, I'm out of here.